First set of the day will be played on Whirlwind. Spawning in the bottom right-hand position as the Blue Zerg from Samsung Khan. Current GSL champion, still in WCS. His name is rOrO.
His opponent, comparing his Brood War history to StarCraft2, his StarCraft2 career isn't as good, but this is only the beginning for him. His name is Bisu, spawning as Red Protoss on the top right position of the map. And learning from his mistakes, seems like he wants to go for the Forge Fast expand.
That's true. I think that the Gateway expand was almost a bit of a fad or phase for Protoss players. I think that it really only suits certain players out there, and not everybody can go for the Forge expand or for the Gateway expand.
Yes, but just because everyone can't go, it's a style. So, like you said, yeah, some players like to do it. Some players can pull it off. Some of the other players, it's just better to go for the Forge Fast expand. Personally, I go for the Forge Fast expand because that's what I'm used to. But sometimes I do the Gateway expand too on certain maps out there.
Looks like some older couples out here today. I think she was there yesterday, actually, with her husband.
I don't want to guess because I don't want to be wrong.
Oh, okay.
Well, you said you wanted to talk about Brood War a little bit between these two. Yeah. Bisu does lead 7-1.
There you go, guys. And in StarCraft2,
they are 1-1.
I don't remember when rOrO won a game against Bisu.
Remember, Hybrid Pro League was also mixed in there, so.
So do we even? Yeah, I guess that was a StarCraft2 match, even though it was in the hybrid leagues. So Nexus first from Bisu on 16, actually, and now he's deciding to scout. He can get that Nexus down just a little bit earlier, if he's opting to scout a bit later.
Yeah, but on this map, you pretty much expect your opponent to go for 15 hatch.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, 4-team pull. So you could go for a Nexus first and still get away with it as long as you put down the Forge right after.
Yep, that's true, and that's exactly what Bisu did here. Got that Forge down, he's putting his Gateway down right afterward, and 4 Lings on the way from rOrO here, so he may try to abuse the fact that this ramp a little bit wider,
Yeah, he did see the Forge timing from his opponent Bisu. He already has an Overload up there. Now Bisu is going to see the 2 Zerglings come out, and rOrO has a pretty much good idea where his opponent is, so now it's up to Bisu to make sure those 4 Zerglings do not get inside the main base.
That's true. I'm pretty sure the cannon will finish up in time, and worst case scenario, Bisu tries to block that off with a few buildings here. But there's going to be 4 Lings heading towards Bisu's base here.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Forge timing, so I'm not too sure if the cannon will actually finish on time. Okay, barely finishes on time, and it's going to prevent rOrO from going in. So there's a little difference where some players, try to get a probe out after the 16 Nexus and then go for a 17 Forge, and that actually delays the cannon by about good to 5 to 10 seconds, and that's when the Zerg player sneaks in those 4 Zerglings, 6 Zerglings into the main base. Bisu stayed at 16, but the Forge only went up to 17 probes and then built the cannon, so that's why the cannon finished on time.
Yeah, well, it looks like 2 Zerglings got in here, though. There was no probe, I guess, while blocking that entrance there, so we're having a repeat here. It seems like even in Brood War we saw a lot of Zerglings get into the main base here, but we're starting to see it happen a lot more than I feel it should in StarCraft 2.
I have to say Bisu's slightly overreacting. That's only 2 Zerglings. That's not like 4 Zerglings inside the main base, so he just needs to micro the hurt Zergling until the Zal comes out and just drive those Zerglings away. He doesn't need to try to attack those Zerglings as much as possible.
I'm just having flashbacks to yesterday's game where hero lost, I think, a total of 3 probes to 2 Zerglings. That
was actually Hero's huge mistake in that game, by the way. So.
Yeah, it was certainly a mistake by him, but I had flashbacks to that. I'm like, I don't want to see that again.
Whoa.
Happen. The guy is 2 times as tall as the girl there, but they both have the SK Telecom jersey there.
Well, at least they're SK Telecom fans. That's all that matters.
Oh, so now you're being biased against Samsung Khan here?
Well, I'm saying if the couple was wearing a different shirt, then more difference between the two people out there.
I guess that's true.
All right, so harassing around with those 2 Stalkers, and we do have 16 Zerglings out of the way by rOrO with a Roach Warren going up.
Interesting. The Roach Warren a little bit earlier than normal here. It is possible we could see some type of timing attack from rOrO here at this rate. That's a lot of Zerglings, but if these Stalkers stay here, they're going to spot the Zergling count, and Bisu, he could start, you know, feeling a little bit worried what's going on here. The nice micro, though, from Bisu, he's really killing off a lot of these Zerglings.
He's doing a nice job, but now he sees a number of Zerglings, and now he knows, whoa, something is not right here. And the early third Nexus is certainly not going to help him out, especially with the Roach Swarm finishing up and no layer on the way by rOrO. It's better for him to cancel the Nexus and just put up additional cannons at the natural at this point.
The problem is he doesn't know about that Roach Warren here. He just sees a lot of slow Zerglings now. Bisu, he will be able to micro and kill off a lot of these Zerglings with these Stalkers here, but Bisu, bit of a mistake. They're losing that Stalker for free. He could have easily microed against that. But if Bisu can spot what's going on in time here, you know, he can put up that Stargate and possibly defend against this. Nice job sniping that Queen, but he's got to get out of there. There are way too many Zerglings there.
That's slowing, so those Stalkers can get out of there, no problem.
Yeah, they'll be able to get out of there in time.
I'm just personally surprised that Bisu took an expansion at the 3 o'clock. Usually players take it around right next to the natural, you know, the little pocket expansion right there, so that it's safer from the Zerg player. But it seems like Bisu actually wants a complete area on the right side of the map, something that's a little bit uncharacteristic from our Protoss player, especially knowing that from the Brood War days, you never do that unless you're so confident that you could block against any timing push from your opponent, like the Roach push, the Hydra push.
That's true. We have a few Roaches on the way here, up to 5. Double Stargate production from Bisu here. He's getting Phoenixes, while rOrO goes for that +1 attack. His Zergling speed just finished as well. Still droning up a little bit here and there, but starting to produce a good amount of units. Now we're seeing Void Rays from Bisu here. I think he just wanted to get a few Phoenixes to force some Spore Crawlers from his opponent.
Force some Spore Crawlers and also deny the vision of the Overlords around his map. However, rOrO does scout the 2 Void Rays coming out, and he exactly knows how to play against it. So he did play against this style a few days ago against Flying on Acheron Waste, and he showed a really nice micro with the Vipers. Let's see if he can show us the same build on today's map, Whirlwind.
That's true. We're going to have to get to that late game proportion, though. I have to say that Bisu actually took such a fast third base here that he's in a great position because of that, as long as it's not able to get taken down by rOrO.
And the biggest thing is it went unpunished.
Yeah.
rOrO had the tech, he just didn't go for it because he didn't know that the third expansion was over there. So he was like, well, as long as I make enough Zerglings and have the Roach Horn up or for possible all-in from my opponent, I'll be completely fine. That was rOrO's mindset until he saw the third base, and he's like, well, I just allowed Bisu to take that unpunished. So now I'm like in this weird position where I have to do something, but Bisu's already fortified on 3 bases.
That's true. You know, it looks like rOrO's gearing up for an attack here. He's making a lot of units, sending him over to that third base. Nexus Cannon goes down here. The problem for rOrO is that the Void Ray count, it's already starting to increase pretty fast here from Bisu because you've got that double Stargate production, +1 already over halfway done, and we have a third Stargate going up along with the Robo here. Bisu sees all of the Roaches, and I mean, rOrO, he's not going to actually really be able to do too much with these units. They're just going to fall to the Void Rays.
To remember, there are 6 Void Rays out in the field, but that's a lot of Roaches, and it could do a lot of damage before the Void Rays can take it down.
Look at all of the cannons at Bisu's natural, perfectly prepared here. Now up to 5, 6 Void Rays here, but the Roaches get in. No force field to block the Roaches in. A big bit of a mistake from Bisu. He does manage to capture about half of them, and now the Roaches actually stuck in Bisu's base, smartly pulling away his probes back here. We're seeing a nice burrow movement from rOrO here. That's going to force Bisu to get some observers out, but as we saw earlier, he did build that robotics. The observer already almost done. Roaches now at the third base of Bisu, but he's got a good amount of cannons there. The Roaches aren't going to really do too much. It looks like only a few probes have been killed throughout this entire ordeal.
If you only lose a few probes, then it's nothing basically, because you already got the third base up for such a long time. Your Void Ray count is still up and high. You're getting a +1 armor, getting a Colossus behind us, so now you're going for the Void Ray Colossus composition. It's really strong if Bisu can get to it. That's the biggest problem with this build, is that you always have to defend until you get 200 max army with Void Rays and Colossus. Until that point, you always have to defend.
That's true, and we can clearly see here the Hydra count from rOrO. It's not large enough to deal with this Void Ray count here. And let's not forget that there's more Void Rays on the way, and we're seeing that Colossus tech like you mentioned. rOrO's doing the right thing. He's expanding more, going for that 4th base. But if we look at the supplies right now, against a Sky Toss, he's in a pretty solid position here.
Yeah, he's in a pretty solid position, but I have to say, allowing Bisu to take a really fast third, it was a little bit uncharacteristic by rOrO, but look at this nice force field blocking off the Lings once again.
More Void Rays moving in here with that charge, trying to show their dominance over the Zerg opponent, even though it doesn't do bonus damage to those Hydras. It's going to easily scare rOrO back here. Now, as a Zerg player, this is where you start to kind of feel really uncomfortable because the Protoss player has been able to get so many Void Rays out, and it can become very difficult for the Zerg player to deal with that.
Yeah, but Protoss player also needs to start be careful now because what Protoss player is doing is just sitting on 3 bases and maxing out. If you don't attack around anytime soon, well, as soon as I say that.
Look at what, okay, Bisu, he's moving in here, gonna clear out the Queen, the Spore Crawler. He's gonna snipe the lair and then just pour it out. So smart by Bisu. This is, I've been waiting to see something like this happen more often, but at the same time, Bisu's 3rd base under attack. He recalls back there.
And he's well fortified at 3rd base.
Well fortified, gonna force rOrO back. Now rOrO has he's lost his lair. He's behind on tech at this point, and there's, the Colossus out. Nice force fields from Bisu, trapping a lot of units in there. The Void Rays completely demolishing the Hydras over here. Bisu is running circles around rOrO at this point.
We do have 7 mutas out on the way, but he already has 3 Stargates, 8 mutas, but look at this, rOrO doesn't have enough gas to mass up the mutas, and the biggest problem is he doesn't have an infestation pit, so that now he can't go for the Swarmos. He showed us a counter against flying with tons of Swarmos with a lot of Spore Crawlers and Vipers. He can't go for that anymore. He needs to go for the layer again and get up the Hive.
That's true. All he can do is make some mutas right now, but rOrO, he's going to have an amazing economy in about maybe 3 to 5 minutes from now because he's making so many expansions. He basically just took the bottom of the map. The entire bottom of the map is his now at this point.
He does have the nice expansion, but he doesn't have the tech. He needs to go for the tech once again, starting from the lair. I mean, if you look at the building tab right now, he only has 5 hatcheries finishing up. 3 hatcheries finishing up right now, and
the mutas trying to move in there. The Void Rays, though, going to scare them away instantly. We have a few Phoenixes out as well here, and now we have 3 Phoenixes in production at a time. Against a Protoss player that goes for 3 Stargate Sky Toss, the mutas, they are not going to cut it.
At this point, as soon as Bisu gets up to 9 Phoenixes, he should push out. He knows that he's in a fantastic position. He killed the lair, which means that rOrO, he's not going to have any high-tech units out. There's not going to be any Vipers in this mix or Swarmos, so he should just push it down and win the game.
That's true. Looks like Bisu's moving out here with a very strong army composition. rOrO, he's trying to counterattack, but that's a paltry force right there. I think that at home, Bisu should be able to defend as long as he has his Mothership Core there. He has got a good amount of cannons. He has a few mutas there. The Mothership Core cannon goes down. All of rOrO's units moving into the main base at this point, but is that going to be enough? I am not sure. Also, there's a lot of Zealots in this army composition as well. More Phoenix moving out here from those Stargates. rOrO, he is in such a desperate position right now. The mutas coming back to the main base, going to destroy the mutas, lift up the Hydras.
That's going to be it. Bisu is well fortified back at the main base. He can defend this hatchery. The Roach Warren and the spawning pool is going to get taken out. The layer at the 6 o'clock. What layer if you don't have any mining base except 2 on the left bottom position? Bisu is in such fantastic position, and there's no way that rOrO can deal with these Void Rays and Colossus army from Bisu.
rOrO is getting absolutely annihilated right now. He doesn't have any solution to anything that Bisu has. His army composition is simply perfect right now. The Hydras, they can't do well against Void Rays in these numbers with the Colossus backup. He's not even able to make any more Hydras at this point, losing losing his Hydra. Now Bisu taking one of rOrO's potential 3rd bases. The Hydra's moving into Bisu's 3rd, trying to do damage there. rOrO, the only thing he can do is counterattack, but at this point, it doesn't even matter anymore. Bisu moving in, going to take out the 3rd base of rOrO. He's moving his units out of there. Now the Phoenix moving in, going to lift up all of those Hydras along with the charge lot reinforcements. Another base goes down for rOrO. All of his attacks right now, they're not able to do any damage. They have completely failing. GG is called. Bisu takes game number 1 in a very convincing fashion.
The terror from Brood War continues as Bisu now ahead 2-1 against his opponent rOrO and takes out the super ace from Samsung Khan. Also sitting 198 wins, so if he goes for 2 more victories, he could join the big 2-0-0 club today, but this is a great start for Bisu.
Great start for Bisu and SK Telecom. They took out the ace player from Samsung Kong, so now they have a decent Terran lineup. They have Reality, and then they have, you know, some Protoss support, Shine, but they lost their strongest guy in the first match.
Did you look at the bench of Samsung Khan? Did you look how sad they were after rOrO lost? This is not looking great for Samsung Khan, but for all the Bisu fans out there and all the SK Telecom T1 fans out there, open up the bottle of champagne because Bisu just defeated rOrO in set number 1, and Samsung Khan now has to send out a new player.
It's only set 1. Anything can still happen. It is the all-kill format. I don't think we should get the champagne out quite yet, man.
Well, I said Bisu fans.
I guess the Bisu fans.
Well, let's see who it is going to be. Remember, Bisu doesn't have any wins in PvP, so is it going to be a Protoss player? Is it going to be... No, it's going to be Shine!
Shine traditionally does well against Bisu here, but after seeing that last game, I'd be a little bit hesitant to send a Zerg out against Bisu.
It's okay. All he has to do is 3 Hatch Hydra.
That's
okay.
That's a dead Brood War build, man.
Well,
it's not dead, but it's not doesn't exist in StarCraft2. Okay, guys, that was a very electrifying game in the first set. Bisu defeated rOrO. Now currently SK Telecom up 1-0. The next set will be Bisu versus Shine. Don't go anywhere. This is the SK Planet Pro League.